Welcome to Khetz tutorials, and in this video I'll be doing question 3 from 1.3 exercises in James Stewart calculus. So the question says we're given an original graph f of x and we're supposed to match each of the equations or each of the equations with a graph and give reasons. So the reasons will just be explaining what happened to f essentially. So let's start with a. So now let's look at a. I'm just going to center this. So f of x is the blue one, so that's where we started, that's where we are currently. And we now have a, which is f of x minus 4. That should tell you this is a translation by 4 units to the right. So let's see if we have such a function. This is where we are, and we have 3 over there as the stopping point. So this has a stopping point of 7. That should tell you that it's 4 removed. Even the starting point there is at 0, but that is at 4. So the answer to the first one would be 3, which is this one over here. You can see that it is f shifted 4 units to the right. And that's what you'd use as your reason. You can see that it's shifted 4 units to the right. Then b, you have f of x plus 3. That there is a shift upwards by 3 units. So let's see if you have such a function. So that is at a y of 1, and that is at a y of 4. So that's 3 units apart, and the same applies to the stopping point. It is at 0, that is at 3. So this function here has been shifted up by 3 units from f. That would be our answer. So that would be assigned to function or graph 1. Because it is a shift upwards by 3. Okay, then C, we have 1 over 3 f of x. So this is us shrinking the function f of x, and we're going to decrease its amplitude. So all of the other functions have quite a similar amplitude, and this one has a bigger amplitude, but this is the only function that has a smaller amplitude that supports that we have shrunk the function. So this would be 4, the smaller one, which has been shrunk, and it has a smaller amplitude. So this goes from, as you can see, it goes from an amplitude of from 1 to 3. This goes from about, I don't know what that is, but until 1. You can just use the 3, and if you multiply that by 1 over 3, it becomes a 1. So that's the peak. The peak there is at 3. The peak of this one is at 1. So this happened to it. So it was shrunk by a factor of 3. Okay, so that was that. That's 4C. Then D, we have a few things happening here. First, f of x was moved or translated to the left by 4. So let's see if there's any that has been moved by 4. Okay, it doesn't seem like there's anything here. So we'd expect it to be, it's at the 0 there. And x of 0, we'd expect it to be somewhere there. But that's not all that was done to it. It was also reflected about the x-axis, which means it now has a mirror image of what we'd expected, where we'd expect it to be if it was just shifted to the left by 4. So this mirror image. So that tells you that the answer to this is 5. This has been shifted to the left by 4, and it has been reflected about the x-axis. That is why it now looks like this. Okay, then we just have one more, and it's the only one that's left, and that would be 2. And just to support your answer, this now shifts your graph to the left by 6. So it had an x of 0 there, but that x is now minus 6. So that is indeed a shift by 6. Then it has been scaled upwards from a peak of 3 to a peak of 6. So that supports that the 2 indeed multiply all of the y values. So it has been stretched by 2, and it has been shifted to the left by 6. And that would be your explanation.